Hi, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Stream of Blood, our tabletop role-playing stream that we do twice weekly. My name is Jared Logan. I am the game master or storyteller tonight. We are so happy to have you here, especially all of maybe our new viewers that are coming through from the World of Darkness Twitch channel. Hi, guys. Thanks for being here. You're welcome. Stream of Blood, like I said, we're a twice weekly tabletop role-playing show. We play all kinds of games. The only game we probably don't play is Dungeons & Dragons 5e because there's a lot of streams that do that. So we play every other game we can think of, and the only theme that I've found between the games is violence and mayhem. That's probably the two things we kind of try to incorporate into all of them. But tonight we're playing a great game. We did our first session last week, and I'm really excited about tonight. This is Chapter 2 of Vampires of Pittsburgh. So really excited about that, and we'll get started on that in just a second. But just want to let everybody know that at 1:30 Sunday, we have our second stream of the week, and that will be another GURPS game with Adam Conover from Adam Ruins Everything, Michael Drucker, who's a writer for Sam B, and my very good comedian friend Robert Dean. We're playing GURPS Henchmen. This is a GURPS game about criminals that hire out to supervillains. So check that out, 1:30 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday. All right. Before we can finally get this thing started, we really need to say something about the reason a lot of people are streaming right now. There is a pandemic that is keeping us all inside of our houses. And, every industry is hit really hard, but particularly the gaming industry is hit just as hard. And it's a small hobby. And there are people putting out books and creating products for us all to enjoy who maybe are having trouble running their business right now. So we just want to encourage everybody, any way you can, buy things from the publishers right now. If your own needs are taken care of, go buy PDFs, support Kickstarters, Patreons, and watch game live streams like this one as much as you can to help people who create really cool gaming content for us that we've all enjoyed our own lives. Okay, enough about that. Let's get into tonight's game, Vampires of Pittsburgh, Chapter 2. Oh, man, we left on a huge cliffhanger last time. I can't wait to see what happens tonight. Let me introduce your players. Playing Miles Vanderbuck, the union dock worker who's been dealt a bad hand by life and has now been turned kindred. Please welcome the amazing improviser, actor, Mr. Thomas Middleditch.
Hey, goddammit, it's me, Miles Vanderbuck.
Oh, I love the voice. I love the Miles voice. How's it going, man?
Going great. Here we are. I'm up in the old Big Bear, and I've got my blood. And,
beautiful.
Let us rage in the night when where only whispers dare to live.
And that is actually the official slogan of Vampire the Masquerade.
Hot.
Yeah. I like that you're one of the people that fled civilization for the mountains. That's a smart move, I think.
Damn straight.
All right, let me bring up your next player. This guy, he's playing the disgruntled veteran of foreign wars. He's a fantastic improviser himself, part of the Improvised Shakespeare Company, and has been on all kinds of TV and stuff like that. Please welcome the excellent role player, Mr. Ross Bryant. Yes! See?
The system's got your mind in shackles, man.
Yeah. I can't talk you up too much because, see, you add that extra level of production, like turning in your chair.
That's right.
That's the kind of quality you get on Stream of Blood, you guys. We'll look in different directions. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we'll sit differently, variety. And finally, it is so much fun to play with this next player. She is just a wonderful actress, very funny, and you can see her on the show Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet. Please welcome Ashley Burch.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Ooh, I'm so blown out. Okay, now I'm not. Hi.
Stay in the shadows. Don't let that shadows touch you.
Ooh.
Don't let it burn you. Hi. Welcome. I forgot to mention your character. Jen Brown, who is a young woman who faints at the sight of blood and also had her own business, I think, right?
Oh yeah, very successful.
Yes.
Kind of like a not shitty Mark Zuckerberg.
Right. Yeah, she was like one of the good ones in terms of tech CEOs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those exist, right? Good ones.
Well, that's the great thing about fantasy role playing is that we can pretend that one exists.
So far, that's the
That's just-
least plausible thing about our fantasy world.
Yeah. Vampires, no problem. A good tech CEO. That's on the
Strains verisimilitude.
line. Yes, a little bit. I think that we should do a brief kind of recap of the rules, because Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition has rules that people that are familiar with the old 90s game might not know yet. And we want everybody at home to know what's going on when our characters are rolling their dice. Now, they're all using a dice tool that we found online, because here in quarantine land, it's hard for us to all get our hands on those beautiful proprietary dice that the game sells. But I'm just going to kind of quickly go through how it works when you roll one of your traits and skills. So in any given situation, I, the storyteller, will tell you to make a pool of 10-sided dice, just 10-sided dice, by adding together a trait and a skill. So it might be your charisma and your subterfuge, or it might be your dexterity and your athletics. You add up the little pips on your character sheet, and that's how many 10-sided dice you grab. You roll those dice, and any dice that come up 6 or over are a success. You need a certain amount of successes to beat the challenge. So if I tell you it's a difficulty 2, you need 2 successes. If I tell you it's difficulty 3, you need 3 successes, and so on. Okay, that's all pretty straightforward, and that's how the old game used to work. But the thing that makes it different and weird, and I think really fun, are the hunger dice. Vampires have a hunger rating that goes up and down the whole time we play the game. And when they are at hunger 2, anytime they make a dice pool, 2 of those dice are hunger dice. Anytime they make a dice pool, if their hunger is 3, let's say they have a dice pool of 7 dice. If their hunger is 3, 3 of those dice are hunger dice. And that matters when they critically fail or critically succeed. A critical success is anytime you roll 2 10s on your dice. Anytime you roll 2 10s, that's a critical success. If neither of them are hunger dice, you just did a great job. But if even just one of them is a hunger die, things go crazy as your vampire, the beast inside him, becomes unleashed. And yes, he succeeds, but he succeeds in a horrific, monstrous, unleashed beast kind of way. If he fails terribly, if he gets no successes, but he gets a 1 or several 1s, that is a critical fail. And if those critical fails, if those 1s are on a hunger dice, well, then he has a bestial failure, which means he or she fails, but fails in a way where, once again, the vampire frenzies or acts out his clan compulsion or clan bane. And, at the very least, really embarrasses himself at the vampire party. Okay, that was as wordy as I could make it. Thanks everybody for sitting through that. Of course, we're really playing this game. We're not pretending. So if you need to ask any questions while we're playing, you're absolutely free to do so. But what I want to do now is start tonight's story. And by God, we are going to start from the exact moment we left off last time. If you recall, when they went to meet the Prince of Pittsburgh, Prince Gwyneth.
Button Gwyneth.
Button Gwyneth.
Button Gwyneth,
Button Gwyneth.
one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. When they were headed up to his secret chambers at the very top of the U.S. Steel building in Pittsburgh, they saw a body fall through the window. They saw a body fall. When they got up there, they met one of the anarch leaders who had been posing as one of the fledglings, as one of you. And he was in the prince's chamber. It looked like he had murdered the prince. And he asked you, do you want one more chance to escape these Camarilla vampires? Do you want to join the anarch movement? And that's when Curtis Krieger acted, surprising his comrades, pushing Alder, the anarch, out the window, following behind him. But Curtis had the feather fall power, I believe it's called.
Weight of a feather, yes.
Weight of a feather, and he fell like one of the flying Lost Boys vampires, very slowly down to the ground. And while he was touching down in the middle of the street in front of the U.S. Steel building, our other two vampires, Miles Vanderbuck and Jen Brown, were ambushed by the rest of the members of the Elysium, all of the elders and Scylla of the Pittsburgh vampires burst into the room and were like, they murdered the prince! So they are currently accused of murdering the prince. But I want to start with Curtis Krieger, who has just the tips of his toes have just landed onto the pavement, and he has turned back to the U.S. Steel building. And what is Curtis Krieger going to do?
Well, I believe I said last time that I was charging back into the building.
Okay, so as you do that, I would just like you to make a wits plus awareness roll. A wits plus awareness roll.
All right. 5. Okay.
Do it. Make the roll.
Success.
Okay, great. So, Curtis, as you're running back into the building, you lock eyes with a young kid. He's got like a dirty like windbreaker over his head. He's got like a matted, muddy kind of like beanie on. He's got a tattoo on his face, and he's just kind of in the shadow of the steps that lead up to the U.S. Steel building, like lighting something. And it looks like he's just like, when he apparently has seen you like very slowly float down to the ground. I don't know if that affects your decision in any way. Do you still run into the building?
I pause for a second and just continue to lock eyes with him and walk and just kind of walk up to him and maintain severe eye contact.
And he's like shaking. He's trying to light like a cigarette butt, and it just kind of drops from his hands.
The cigarette butt does?
Yeah.
And then I just I put my hand like an inch from his face, and I just say like, you didn't see anything. And even if you did say anything, no one would believe you.
So give me a charisma plus intimidate roll, I think.
As much of a badass as you think my guy would be, intimidation is not one of his strong points.
Interesting. Okay.
It's more of a Miles Vanderbuck strength.
Yeah.
Of all people.
Miles has a foreboding presence.
Well, you got to throw that Nick Nolte choice photo that you guys had. That's Miles.
That's a success.
Right. You also look like a melting Nick Nolte, though, don't you? Isn't your face a little bit sloughing off?
No,
right?
I don't know.
Isn't he vampire-y weird? Or did I make that up?
You may be. Well, it may just have been your emotional reaction to the character, Ashley, because Miles Vanderbuck should just look like, other than his lack of like blood under his skin and his pale visage.
Oh, maybe that's
like an old man. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Except paler.
You were on acid last time though. So.
Yeah, I was the whole time.
Yeah, we all took a hallucinogenic before we started the stream last time. Yeah.
It seemed appropriate.
Curtis Krieger, how many successes did you get?
One.
Okay, great. He kind of like just puts his hands up and like cowers, and you are free to run into the building.
I do so.
Okay. And running into the building, like you realize that there is like an inner door once you go through the main thing, and it's like locked, and you're just kind of like shaking, the door. Do you think you can break your way in?
Break. Is there anyone in the lobby?
You don't.
That I can see through the window or door.
It seems like dark in there, but like how businesses keep on like bare minimum lights.
I just I pound on the door.
Okay. Meanwhile, all of the characters you met, Jen and Miles, are now in the prince's quarters. They've come up the stairwell behind you, and they're all like staring at you. And the woman with the white blonde hair and the $700 dress that's made to look like secondhand rags, Adelaide Ross, is at the front of them, and she's like, "Oh dear, they've killed the prince." And everybody's just kind of staring at you, dumbfounded. What would you like to do in this situation?
I would like to kind of Doctor Who style do one of these. Do one of those like wait before you do anything.
Right.
One of these like trying to hold them at bay. Look, we didn't kill the prince. I know you probably don't believe us. We just were in the wrong place at the wrong time. But also, do you even care? Because you're vampires. But anyway, look, multiple people told me earlier that I'm special, right? There's something about me as a vampire there's something interesting about me, right? You don't want to kill me. And not only am I special as a vampire, but I am the female Mark Zuckerberg, and I have connections everywhere. I can help you guys, okay? So don't do anything crazy or rash. We didn't kill him. We would like to just be able to tell our story without getting vampire murdered, whatever that looks like.
Charisma plus persuade, please.
Okay. Charisma is 3. Persuade is 3. Oh, cool. Okay. So how hungry am I? Does my tummy rumble?
I believe that you guys got that you were all at 1 hunger when we ended the game last time. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that would be 1 hunger and 5 dice, right?
That's
and
right.
The difficulty?
The difficulty for this? Oh, yeah. This is going to be difficulty 4.
No! Why did I ask?
Just a reminder, I believe Miles Vanderbuck was actually at 3 hunger due to some failed rolls last time.
Oh,
I thought I licked the blood. I licked the
Oh,
blood.
everybody, this is our sidekick and co-host.
You mother.
What's your name again?
Underling.
This is our rules lackey, Clint. He's kind of like my
hurtful.
ghoul.
Deeply hurtful.
Thank you, Clint.
No. I live in the shadows.
I'm
a Nosferatu. Goodbye forever.
Thank you. And he has obfuscated. How'd you do?
I'm so bummed. I got 3 successes, but the result is still a failure, right? I mean, it says result failure.
Right. And, in my defense, this is a really bad situation for you to be in. And like kind of telling them you need to let me help you. Like I have connections right now. It was a really steep hill to climb.
Sure.
Miles Vanderbuck. But that was an admirable try. Miles, what are you going to do in this situation?
Well, I said, Miles, he speaks up and he says, "Yeah, I mean, listen, I would have killed him if I could, but I didn't. And my question I got to ask all you freaks is how well do you know the man that you sent up before, that long-haired, greasy-ass, crow-looking mother?"
Adelaide laughs and she looks back at like Church Jackson and the other vampires you talked to last time, and she goes, "Does anybody understand what he's talking about?"
The goth kid. The goth kid.
It was him. Greasy-haired.
They all shake their head, no, and then she looks you into the eyes, Miles Vanderbuck, and she says, "Get down on your knees and put your hands behind your back."
Oh, God.
What I need you to do when she does that is you need to roll your intelligence plus resolve. She's going to roll her dice pool, and we're going to see what happens.
All right. Oh, wow. Okay, great. This is like my strong suit. 8. I did get brought down to 1 hunger, by the way. I remember it because I licked the blood off the boy's neck.
I remember it too. It happened. You're at 1 hunger.
And what's the difficulty, my friend? Sweet storyteller.
This is a contest. So I've rolled a pool for Adelaide, who is using some sort of vampiric mesmerism on you. Okay. And you specifically dominate 1, and you are rolling to resist it. Unless you want to.
No, I want to resist it. I want to have a vein pop out.
God damn it, no! I faced tougher adversaries in the Union!
We've got I have 4 successes, result success.
Oh,
But
wow.
I don't know what.
Ooh.
Result success. Holy shit. So she tells you to do that, and you feel your body trying to do it. You feel like the parts of your brain that don't think, like the medulla oblongata, like it's trying to make your knees buckle under you, but you just sit there going like, "Ah!" and you don't give into it.
Whoa.
I say, out of the struggle, I say,
You first!
because didn't she say, get on your knees and hold your hands behind your back?
Yeah.
She says, you first.
Um,
Ice cold.
Church Jackson, that's the guy who was asking what were the rules you'd have for a vampire society. He's like a really buttoned up black guy in like a 70s, slightly 70s suit. He says, get out of the way. And he pushes Adelaide aside. And he's like, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. We need to ask you some questions and do some investigation. So will you come along quietly? Or do I ask my men to take you in by force?
If
We
you
comply.
want to ask questions, you can ask questions. But I'm not taking orders from
Anybody.
I'll take orders. I comply.
All right. He's asking you to join him to go back downstairs. He wants to get everybody out of the prince's chambers.
As I exit, can I have a glancey glance at that urn?
And
And
you
just try to-
absolutely can take a glancey glance at that urn. Will you? So it looks like it's a very old urn. If you recall last time, I believe it was Jen who pressed a button under the desk and sort of a bookcase slid out of the way, and we saw an old urn there in the prince's private chambers. And what I want you to do is you're looking over at this urn, and what are you trying to find out, or do you want any information at all?
I guess I wouldn't know much about it, but I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't have a gander and see if I could, if there's anything about it, I could try to commit to memory so I can look it up later, or if there's anything about it that seems familiar to me.
Great. It looks very old. It's made out of kind of a brown clay or plaster or something like that. It's got, really kind of Middle Eastern looking symbols kind of like carved into the side, like someone did it with like a stick or something a very long time ago. But I want you to make a wits plus craft or wits plus occult roll at difficulty 3.
Wits plus no craft, no occult. Okay, so it's just going to be.
Do you have academics? I would allow academics.
I do have academics.
Wits plus academics at difficulty 3. What's your dice pool for that?
That would be 4. Well, it would be 3 and then 1 hunger.
Okay. Give it
And
a
it's
shot.
difficulty 3?
Yeah, give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
Why not?
Come
Failure.
on.
Who knows? It could work.
Failure. It didn't work.
Okay, so how many failures did you roll?
I
roll-
rolled what? I rolled 2.
2 failures and 1 success. Is that right?
Well, let's see. It says difficulty 3. Specialty no. Success is 1. Critical 0. Result failure. And the 2. There's a 4 and a 3 that are red.
Yeah, those are the
Okay.
fails, and then you. So, do you want to try using your willpower to re-roll the fails?
That sounds great.
So
Fuck it.
this is another rule I should cover really quickly. You guys have a willpower rating. You can take off a point of willpower and then re-roll the dice that failed in your dice pool.
Okay, so I would go down from 4 to 3.
You would
this case?
you would roll 3 more, the 3 dice that failed over again. And willpower.
And then I would
does
lose
come
the
back.
willpower.
And you
It
would
does
lose
come
the
back.
willpower, but temporarily.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I would just roll. Would I roll my willpower? So would I roll?
No, roll the same dice pool again, but remember you already had 1 success. So you keep that success and then roll 3. Roll the 3 that are left over that failed.
So then I would do 2 in the dice pool and 1 hunger.
Mhm.
Okay. I got 1 success.
Okay, so you got 2 successes. Okay, all I can tell you
Okay.
is that I'm going to give you 2 options.
Okay.
You could succeed at a cost right now, meaning that you could succeed, but something bad's going to happen, or some kind of negative effect is going to happen. Or I can
Okay.
just tell you what your 2 successes gets you.
How important do we think this urn is? I mean, it was hidden by a special button.
That's
Grab
up
it.
to you.
Do you have a sleight of hand pilfering skill? Are you a
Sure
secret magician?
I should say that it's it's about half the size of your body. It's about 3 feet.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, she's a
Okay.
big old urn.
I'm playing fast and loose. I'll take the success with the consequence.
Okay, great. In order to kind of get a look at it, Jen has to kind of break away from the other vampires and get up close to it for a second. And when she does that, she sort of is like, she was kind of like, wait, and she's like, she's a little bit bumbling in some ways. So in this particular case, as she gets up close and she sees it, she accidentally like knocks it over.
No.
And it hits the ground and shatters. But right before that happens, Jen is absolutely sure that whatever it's supposed to look like or supposed to be, this is a fake.
Mhm.
It's a fake made out of
Okay.
cheap modern materials, but she has no way of articulating how she knows that except for how it felt right before she shattered it. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the U.S. Steel building,
Sorry, everybody.
you've been pounding on the glass for a little while.
Yeah.
What happened? What do you have anything else you want to try? Because I know what's about to happen next. Unless you have something you want to try.
Normally buildings like this have service entrances. I'm gonna dash around, clocking to see if that kid is still lurking outside. Was he in an alleyway? Was he tucked next to the building?
He was tucked next to the building, like the building has big concrete steps that lead up to the main entrance, and he was kind of tucked down beside those steps, just right in front of the building.
Okay.
But if you're running around to the service entrance, I can tell you that that's no problem. Is that what you'd like to do?
Yeah.
Okay, so you run around the building and you're going through an alley, and you come to where you see like a big loading dock. And as you get up to it, who steps out of the loading dock like flaps of plastic onto the dock? But Nixon and Bex, the
Yes.
vampires who were kind of your jailers earlier.
Mhm. Or abductors. Yeah.
And
Okay.
Nixon goes, what are you doing down here?
I think you all need to get your house in order.
Yeah, well, right now, you need to come back inside the house.
Damn right I do. And I
Grab
need to
it
go all the way to the top.
They
Right at the top.
All the way to the top, baby.
okay.
Don't you
All
get
right.
it?
So you're coming along with them willingly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So they bring you in, and they have to key into the elevator anyway. It might have been tough to get back up there without them, to be honest with you. Eventually, you end up at the 60th floor, where you are with Miles Vanderbuck, Jennifer Brown, and the rest of the gathered vampires. And now Miss Sonia comes forward. If we recall, Miss Sonia, she is the one that adopted Jennifer Brown as her child. She is a type of vampire. You're not sure what breed or bloodline this is, but she is grotesque in her appearance. There's just something kind of dead about her jowls and her big, like, third and fourth chin. She's just like this old, roomy-looking creature. And she comes up to you and she's like, "You have made a wise choice by deciding not to try to fight us. The gathered might here would instantly destroy you. Now, we need to talk, so follow me." And she goes over to a door and she opens it and she gestures for you all to enter.
I go willingly.
Yeah,
Same.
give everybody a look and head on through.
As soon as Curtis, do you go in as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The second you enter, you realize that you're in kind of a nondescript sort of, I don't know, like a boardroom or something like that. And once you're inside, the door slams shut, and you hear a bunch of locks go, and you hear her voice through the door going, "I'm sorry, but we'll come back for you later."
What the
Um,
goddamn hell?
I scream in. So wait, back me through. We've been trapped in there. We didn't follow her in there. We're now trapped in this boardroom.
Well, she gestured for you to go inside.
Got it. Okay. I scream through the door. Wait! Don't you people know what's going on right now? You've all been hoodwinked.
You just hear Adelaide Ross sort of laughing through the door. No,
Can I look-
more.
To hell with this. I'm getting out of here. And I look for windows. Or any
Yeah,
type of escape.
Is there anything, or is it sealed up tight?
There are no windows. There is bad corporate art on the walls, like a London street, a sailboat on the Thames. It's all London themed, which London is about as far from Pittsburgh as you can possibly get. You do notice one thing though, on the floor of this room. There is a body. A girl is laying on the ground. She's also in very cheap, tattered clothes. Looks like she's been on the streets for quite a while. And she seems to be laying there unconscious, but her face has the warmth of a living person.
Do I have my phone on me still? Is that safe to say that I still have like a phone or something on me?
Oh, that's very interesting. Well, they did. I don't think so, because I think that when they took you guys hostage in chapter 1, they probably removed your phone.
Okay.
And now here's what happens. We're going to feel the passage of time a little more quickly. Suffice to say, the more you pound on these doors, the less response you get, and the walls seem very solid. So now 3 nights pass. I need everybody to make a rouse check 3 times. So a rouse check is how vampires go under, and then they rise every night. And that's what you guys are doing in here. There's no sunlight coming in here, so you're safe from that, but you need to roll the die 3 times. And let me know if it's under 6 each time. So let's start, because under 6 means something happens. Above 6 or above, you're okay. So let's start with
So
Curtis,
just
rolling
one
again?
die 3 times.
1 die 3 times, and tell me how many times it comes up success.
Are you doing Curtis first?
Yes, that's right. Curtis?
Okay, hold please.
And that would just be 1 in dice pool, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't. If we're locked in this one room with just us for 3 nights, we're
I
probably
got-
maybe going a little crazy too.
Mhm.
Oh,
And I
that's-
fucking hate being in a cage, man. It's 2 failures, 1 success.
okay. So I actually wanted you to make 3 rouse checks. So that would just be like rolling the die 3 times. So you say you
Failed the first one, failed the second, succeeded the third.
okay. Your hunger has risen to 3 over the course of 3 nights,
Mhm.
Curtis. Now let's do Jen Brown.
Okay. Total failure. Come on, little buddy. Total failure. Success.
Okay. So failure, failure, success. Jen Brown, your hunger goes up to 3. Miles Vanderbuck.
I had a success, a failure, and a success.
Okay, Miles Vanderbuck, your hunger is at 2. This girl, over the course of 3 nights, she keeps it kind of turning and going like, and you feel like she is on the edge of death. And as you watch her kind of turn and sweat on the floor, you get very, very hungry. Is anybody taking any action regarding that?
I'm gonna start chewing on my nails, just
Okay.
to give myself something else to chew on.
I find myself just watching the pounding of the blood in her neck and forehead. It's just, you can see the blue veins standing out in the wrists.
Yeah, you're just watching the blood pump its way erotically through the canals of her neck.
Let's put something over her, and I'm gonna look for like a blanket or something so I can drape it over her.
Yeah, there's actually kind of like a cheap kind of like tapestry kind of a thing that you can rip down and like throw over her. Do you want to do that?
Is there a window behind it?
There is no window behind it.
All right. Yes, I will do that. I'm gonna rip down the tapestry and throw it over her.
Okay. Now she has this like bad cloth, like, it's some kind of design, it's like modern art design, but it's like laying over her. Maybe that helps you guys not think about her laying there. What about you, Miles Vanderbuck? Any kind of reaction to this person who's sitting there all warm and delicious right in your presence?
Look, guys, you either come to grips with reality or you don't. We're vamps, okay? Vampires like Twilight.
Miles, will you stop talking about Twilight?
Yeah.
My daughter loves those books.
I know she does. That's all you talked about the last 3 days.
The point is, you either face the truth or you deny it.
But we don't have to eat humans, right? We don't have to be like them.
I don't know
we can find
that
something
for
else.
sure, but I'm pretty sure you do. God damn it.
Can I look?
If you could eat animals, with everybody would just be eating McDonald's.
There's got to be a way that you could maybe just have like a little taste without killing somebody, right?
Between the three of us, she's already dying.
She's probably got some corona.
Come on, man. That quarantine was a year ago. This is 2021, man.
Actually, it's 2019. So you guys are like, it's theoretical.
Oh, she's got SARS. Okay.
Yeah.
Would there have been, during this 3 days, any sort of skittering of creatures? This is kind of a sketchy place, right? Would there have been mice? Would there have been rats?
Not up here on the 60th floor of the U.S. Steel building.
Right, it's very high. Never mind. Okay.
It's not a vermin-infested space. Here's what I'm going to say. If people are resisting the urge right now, then I will allow it. Is anybody giving in? Make a call.
I think Curtis would give in. I don't know. It's like
I pulled Curtis to the side. I said,
"Look, I had some a few days ago before we got to this beautiful building, and I'm telling you,
grab you by the collars.
It's goddamn glorious. I don't know if I've got the stomach to, kill her, but I'll taste her. I'll taste her real good."
I know. I want to so bad, but I know, man. From just one little taste is all.
Can I make a perception check to see if his teeth are coming out?
Oh, absolutely. You don't need to make a perception check. They are. His fangs.
My God, Curtis.
So
your teeth.
While all this is happening, suddenly the door to the room flies open and a body is pushed inside. This body falls forward into the room, and there is blood gurgling, splashing out of its neck. And you see Nixon and Bex behind it laughing. And Nixon says, "You need to eat, leeches. Eat up!" And the eyes that meet yours from this body that's falling into the room are the eyes of the young man you saw in the shadow of the stairs beneath the building. The man who saw you float down from the 63rd floor. And he is now sitting in the room going, and blood is splashing out of his neck. And now I need everybody to make a willpower roll.
So I'm down to 3, is that right?
That willpower roll needs to be modified by, you can add a little bit of your humanity to it. You can add a 1/3 of your humanity. So if you guys have 7 humanity,
I'll tell you what, Jared, can I say this?
you can.
My instinct is to put this poor bastard out of his misery.
Yeah.
So I want to just clock him, not really fully realizing that I have some new ability called lethal body.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to really get him, and then maybe this might kill him.
You want to grab this guy, use
wanna-
lethal body on him.
I want to punch through his brain, but not intentionally. Miles is just trying to subdue him, but I'm trying to see if I can discover that I have this ability.
Okay, I understand. You do realize he's already bleeding out of his neck and everything, right?
Yeah, but he's freaking out. I mean, I'm still a human being.
Sounds good. You're putting him out of his misery, so to speak.
Yeah.
Give me an unarmed.
But his intent is just to like judo.
Give me an unarmed attack roll, and the way you're going to do that is you're going to roll your strength plus your brawl.
Okay. Oof.
And because you are using, or for the first time, your lethal body power, a potence discipline, you will do aggravated damage to this mortal.
Great.
Oh God, he's gonna
What's
explode.
What's the difficulty?
Well, he's not going to defend. He's going to sit there spilling blood. He's trying to hold the blood into his neck. The difficulty is usually it would be a contest, but in this case, you just need a success.
Okay.
Jared, should I test every time I see blood?
Oh,
Right.
that's a good point,
Blood
because you hate
phobia.
the sight of
Yes.
the sight of blood. So yes, you should roll your I think that you should roll your willpower first, just for your phobia, and then for this frenzy that you guys are in because you're so hungry. So first roll for your phobia, and then roll for the frenzy. But first, let's handle what Miles is doing, and we'll go straight to that.
Success.
How many?
1 success.
Please describe to me how you rip this guy a new one.
Well, I guess Miles' intent is just to be like seeing this guy freak out, and he'll just clock him to knock him out, so he winds up and decks him. But then, he's, unbeknownst to him, his whole head goes.
That's right. Yeah, his head twists all the way around.
What the hell?
And he
Jesus
falls to the
Christ!
ground, and he's losing a lot. He's losing a lot of blood. And
Jesus,
his
don't
head
let it go to waste.
I just kind of like catch the falling body, and I can't help myself. I start lapping away.
Sucking
Okay.
and drinking and slurping it all up.
It's already cut. I just start
Okay.
tasting the precious ichor.
Okay. So does Vanderbuck do that as well? Does he begin feeding as well?
Yeah, he has a momentary moment of guilt, and then just
You just gotta lick it.
and you got 2 boys, Miles and Curtis, these 2 grown men, one of them over 60, just slurping and sharing this neck.
Suck it.
Um,
I just wanted to suck it.
I wanted to fucking suck it for a minute.
Come on.
guys,
Come on, I'll give you a fucking cheeseburger.
first of all, I do
Do
want to
anything,
mention to
Father.
the stream that this will contain mature content, and 2, be careful. You might be being it's getting too sexy, and I think people at home will log off the stream to go,
To go
you
beat
know,
it?
get a release.
Uh-huh.
Jen Brown, how did you do?
Oh, I've been edging this whole time.
So when I saw the urn, that took away my willpower. Has my willpower returned in the 3 days, or is it? Still
Yes,
gone?
it has. You got your 1 point of willpower back, so you can roll
Okay.
your. And I believe there's actually, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Is there a difficulty on this fainting roll, or is it?
Yes, in this case, since it's such a crazy example of like blood spraying at you, it's a difficulty of 3.
Okay. Failure.
Okay, great. So she can't stand the sight of it, and she's turning around, but at the same time, she's rolling her willpower plus, let's say, her humanity 7, so 1/3 of that would be 2. She's rolling her willpower plus 2 to resist this kind of frenzy.
So that would be 6 or 5 dice pool and 1 hunger. Oh no, my hunger is higher, isn't it? I rolled that last one incorrectly then.
I think it's at 3.
That's okay. That was just
Okay.
a willpower roll to kind of react to your phobia, so I think it'll be okay. Yeah, roll your willpower plus 2.
Willpower plus 2, so that's 6. So then I have 3 hunger, right? So
Mhm.
that's 3 and 3. Difficulty or just standard?
Difficulty of this is going to be a 3. Mhm.
Okay. 3s across the board. All right. Failure.
Failure. Okay, so Jen Brown doesn't want to look at it.
Join us.
It's like really, really tough for her to look at it. And what happens is she turns back to the other girl that's been laying there the whole time. The girl who isn't spraying blood out of her neck, the thing that Jen Brown is afraid to look at. And I'm afraid to say she goes into, she feeds. She drops onto the girl. She feels the beast inside her well up. Her fangs extend for the first time. And it's like painful as they sprout out of her gums, and she bites down. And as long as she keeps her eyes closed, she can imagine she's drinking a fine wine or having a really good glass of her favorite, I don't know, her favorite liquor. You guys now need to tell me whether you are feeding and killing the person, or if you're trying to pull away at some point.
Pull away.
Pull away.
Pull away. Okay. So I want willpower rolls again from
No, I'm
everyone.
I'm not pulling away. I'm
Miles is just going for it.
And I'm sorry, I just rolled my total willpower and
Just
roll
roll
my
your
hunger.
total willpower and the difficulty now that you've been drinking. You're just trying to pull away now, and your difficulty, I think, Ross, will just be 2 because you've gotten a taste now. Some of your hunger has been alleviated. In fact, Ross, Curtis Krieger can alleviate 1 hunger.
Good.
And go down to hunger 2.
That was a success.
Vampire Techno is playing. That was the success. Okay, great. So you got 2 successes, right?
Yeah. Correct.
Difficulty 2. Okay, great. So you pull away, and 1 hunger is alleviated, and you steel yourself, and you don't drain the young man completely, but he's as good as dead. I mean, Miles is just ripping him to pieces. Miles,
I drained that young man.
Miles, because you're drinking until the guy is dead, which you helped do by breaking his neck. You can go ahead and alleviate all of your hunger. But I believe we're going to see if your humanity goes down.
Oh, there's a humanity score?
Yes, you have one on your sheet.
Gulp.
Next to willpower.
Oh, wow. Does it go away forever?
Let's see. Oh, no, actually, what we're going to do, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you a stain. You drank an innocent person until they were dead after also breaking their neck. I think that's pretty awful.
Yeah, give me a stain.
Yeah, your stain that means you would mark like the other end of the humanity sheet, and eventually your stains start to affect your humanity score and stuff like that. But right now you're going to get a stain. And
Clint, where do I write it down?
just make a note anywhere. But basically, you have the humanity score, and you should be able to check from the other side of that humanity box. Maybe not on that PDF. Well, what?
I can like circle it, or I can make a
Circle it. Do something to let you know. So the humanity score goes up to 7, but then there's like a couple dots left on the other side. Mark one of those as a stain. And Jen Brown.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Do you want you're drinking from this woman? Do you want to continue or do you want to stop?
I want to pull away.
Okay, give me a willpower roll.
So then my willpower is 4. Is my hunger alleviated at all, or am I rolling 3 hunger die?
Yes. So far you have alleviated 1 hunger, and you need to roll willpower difficulty 2 to stop feeding on this woman altogether.
Okay, 2s. Oh no. I failed.
Okay, you failed. Oh my God, Jen Brown,
Delicious.
you keep drinking.
No,
You
Jen,
keep
stop.
drinking. But Jen Brown is a thin blood, and she's a little closer to her humanity than other vampires. So I'm going to give her one more chance. If she would like to stop one more time, she can try it. Willpower roll, please.
Okay. Oh, she's gonna be so fucked up if she kills this person. All right. Bestial failure.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I want to see it.
No.
I want to know what happens.
Jen Brown, not only do you
Oh.
feed until you're completely slaked. Oh, by the way, Miles Vanderbuck and Jen Brown now have 0 hunger. The only way you can get to 0 hunger in this game is by killing someone, by extinguishing their life. Miles Vanderbuck and Jen Brown have just done that. So they are at 0 hunger, but Jen Brown, when you awaken from a second from the reverie of feeding, you look at yourself and you're completely covered in blood. And we're going to end this particular scene with you guys in a badly decorated boardroom, and Jen Brown is covered in blood, just screaming.
Full carry.
That's the end of the scene. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Okay? 5-minute break, and then we're going to come back, and there's going to be a part 2 to our part 2, and it's big, baby. So 5 minutes, we'll be right back.
Oh, does Clint come on and juggle?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm here. Yeah, I will stay and have a little chat with the comment section if anybody has any questions about what we're doing. If anybody wants to go,
Have a chat with are the people who made the game there? Doesn't the
yeah, I think I see Jason hiding.
Jason, are we okay? Are we doing it right? I
are-
need the approval of the
Are we
Lord
doing a
of
good job,
Vampires.
Father?
Stop.
Tell us, Father.
So, first question: is Jen okay? Decidedly
No.
not. Decidedly not okay.
Really bad for her. Oh,
Not
also-
okay.
she also takes a stain on her humanity as well.
This is a stain.
Yeah, she takes a stain on her humanity as well.
So if I would put.
Here's Jason.
Can you
He
see
says
it?
hello,
Humanity.
everybody.
So would I put like a little check on one of these guys? Is that the deal?
You got it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Okay. Oh God.
Father says we are doing it right.
Yay!
Thank you, Daddy.
Thank you, Daddy.
Thank you,
Hey,
Daddy.
you know what? When you're pretending to be vampires online, you can't do it wrong.
Whew.
Great. I've only gotten 3 texts from my wife saying, "Could you please not scream?" So that's going good.
Okay.
I really did not, White Wabbit, I really did not think that Jen would murder an innocent so early in the Chronicle.
Fuck. I didn't think so either. Them
Yeah.
shit rolls.
Yeah. It happens though. Vampires degenerate quickly when they're that hungry.
She's so sleek and professional, and now she looks like Nicolas Cage at the end of Mandy.
Jen is a thin blood, so I don't think that isn't it gangrels who, when they frenzy, get a bestial feature. And if you recall, Curtis Krieger, you are a gangrel, but you did you fail your roll to not? No, you fed.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't really frenzy. You kind of stayed in control, so you're not gonna get the gangrel clan weakness, which is every time they frenzy, they get like hairier or they get like they get like more of like an animal like appearance to them. Sometimes they get like an animal smell or something like that. It's hard to be a veteran. It's every first time interacting with this RPG. Yeah, it sort of is, right? I mean,
Other than last time, yeah.
I played at Gen Con with Clint a couple years ago, but this is my first time running it.
Yeah. I had a college roommate who had the old book from that I like looked at in college, but never played.
Yeah, I always thought Vampire was one of the games that was very LARPy and not like sit around a table rolling dice.
I feel like
Well,
there were like documentaries in the 90s about people who lived as vampires full time, and this was like brought up as part of that lifestyle.
Pretty much all of my role-playing friends back in the Midwest at the University of Michigan all met in a giant vampire LARP
Really?
Wow.
that I only played in once because I was scared. I was a fearful little boy, and everybody was too vampy for me.
I would.
But-
What are the
totally go
rules
to
of a
one now.
vampire LARP?
I would have been scared years ago, but I would absolutely love to go to a LARP.
Yeah, this
vampire
is
LARP.
our gateway.
Maybe we'll LARP this one day. We know Miles looks like
I'm
Nick
gonna go with
Nolte.
strangers. Wait.
Oh, great! Yes, Ross is an
Oh.
incredible artist. Yeah,
Oh, that's kind of you.
Ross
Yeah,
is
your
an incredible
your drawings of our characters were so great.
No,
I love them.
I've got a
let's
lot
see.
of time on my
plays-
hands these days.
Who plays your characters? Who plays your characters in the movie version of this?
Yeah.
Let me think.
Oh, I know. God, what's that guy's name? This won't help unless people.
Who always plays vets? What's that actor?
How old is he? He could be Paul
He's-
Dano.
He's 33.
Oh, yeah, that's a Paul Dano. If you
Could
want.
be, yeah.
If he's not, is he a brawny vet or like a?
I think he's a wiry vet.
Yeah.
So what my very good friend, Mark Wise, who was a key member of this giant vampire LARP that I mentioned, is in the chat. He says, they do rock, paper, scissors in a LARP, just so you know how they do challenges. Ashley?
It's true.
Oh,
And there's
okay.
a lot more running
Thank you.
around in public, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna once the pandemic's over, we're all LARPing.
The idea
Mark.
of having to embody a vampire, but then in every contest you have to play rock, paper, scissors is like so precious. I love it.
In my head, I think Curtis kind of looks like a young Garrett Dillahunt at his most.
Ooh, I like
tombstone.
that.
Sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I think Jen looks like a younger and less hot Grace Park.
Sure,
Oh,
sure,
okay,
sure.
Great. Yeah.
Like a Grace Park that hasn't taken care of herself or showered in a minute. You know?
Yeah.
What do you say, guys? Has it been 5 minutes? I think we should get back into it. We still have a lot of story to go.
All right. That's my cue. Goodbye.
Bye,
Bye.
Clint. Thank you, chat room, for the questions, and we'll answer more when the game is over tonight. Okay, so here's the next thing that happens. Everybody, we're going to jump ahead a little bit in time. A couple hours go by. Dawn comes again. Everybody goes into their restful vampiric sleep. And then I need one rouse check, the last one tonight, I promise, from each of you. So just roll a single die and tell me how it comes up.
Total failure.
Okay. So you were at 0 hunger, Jen Brown. Now you have 1.
Okay.
Success.
You're
Success.
fine. Yours does not change, and neither does yours, Miles Vanderbuck. As the door swings open, and you're looking at a 40-something woman who has like a pile of binders near her. She has like a very officious kind of like I'm a ball buster kind of a vibe to her. She does have the pink of a living person about her face, and she says, "Hi, nice to meet everybody. I'm Elaine Wozniak. Hi. Oh, I won't shake your hand. I'm sorry. You know what? Let's get something to clean you up, honey." And she gestures for someone outside the door to go get something. And a couple minutes later, some of those cool like bartenders and servers you saw the other night come in
Tattoos.
with the little tattoos on the back of their neck or like under their eye or on their wrists. They come in and they bring, wet wipes and I don't know, washcloths and all these things, and they kind of hand them to Jen. The rest of you are probably also covered in blood. So she's like, "Go ahead, clean yourselves off, I'm Elaine Wozniak. I said that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Do we know that name?
You do not. You've not met this person before.
Okay.
I'm thinking of the famous Wozniak, but
Yeah.
I just googled it to see if that was his wife.
It's not Steve Wozniak's wife. This is a different Wozniak.
Because Jim Brown would have been like, hello.
Supreme.
What if the entire game was sort of this really kind of sideways critique of tech companies?
Right.
No, this is
our pitch for the Silicon Valley sequel.
yeah. So she's watching you guys. Do you clean yourselves up?
Yeah.
Yes, but with like no like dead eyes. I'm like sort of staring at the ground and not even really looking where I'm cleaning.
So she waits for you guys to say something, and there's kind of an awkward beat, and she goes, "Okay, so I suppose I should tell you why I'm here. I'm here to prep you for your adjudication, and I will be the one representing you at the adjudication. This is a big one, huh? A lot has happened the last couple nights. Basically, the Ventru Archon, one of the Ventru Archons, is on his way here, and we only have one night to sort of prep a defense for you that proves that you did not murder the Prince of Pittsburgh." I can't believe I just said that sentence out loud, but that's the situation we're in. So as soon as you feel psychologically up to the task, I think we should sort of blue sky some options, maybe, throw out some brainstorms and figure out how we're going to get you out of this pickle.
Okay.
Well, first off, you should know that we didn't kill anybody.
Sure. I mean, it doesn't matter to me whether you did or not. I'm just supposed to, represent you.
You're telling me in this entire building you don't got cameras or anything up there?
Oh, no. In fact, the Camarilla very specifically frowns on electronic surveillance. That could horribly damage the Masquerade. So there are no cameras anywhere in this building, including in the prince's private chambers.
So all you got to go on is our word.
Yes, I'm afraid right now it's your word versus the circumstantial evidence. And I must let you know that in a vampiric court, circumstantial evidence can weigh quite a lot. Oh, you look like you've had quite a time.
Can I take Curtis aside? And I ask him,
Hey, what about the guy, the long-haired fellow? Did you find his body? Is he outside? Was he outside?
When he hit the ground, he turned to a pile of ash, blew away in the wind. There's nothing left of him, or the prince or whatever the fuck.
They're both gone.
They're both gone. Dead.
Can I ask Elaine, what happens if we lose?
Well, that's up to the Archon Fideli, but likely you'll be destroyed at the next sunup.
This organization you got here, what do you call it? The Camarilla?
That's correct.
And this guy was your prince.
Well, yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, then I just got one question for you. What do you know about I kind of glance at them to make sure I'm pronouncing this right, anarchs?
Yes. So let me see here. And she pulls out a bunch of papers and she's like, yes. So I what I understand is that you guys were pulled from the clutches of an anarch cell. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
ask what are their names? Fucking Deep Tech and fucking Sub-Zero. What are those guys' names?
Oh, Nixon and Bex.
Yeah.
Nixon and Beck.
Kano and Sonya Blade. Yeah.
Ask them what?
They rescued us. I mean, that's the truth. We were abducted by anarchists, but they were the ones that saved us.
Well, it says also, I mean, that you personally, Miles, showed a lot of reticence to kind of sign up with the Camarilla when you were rescued.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, it's like this. We have, approximately, 8 hours to come up with something. I mean, I can do my best without you, but you have been given freedom to move about the 60th floor here. And we need to think of any kind of strategy we have to prove to these people that you are not the ones who killed the prince.
Let me ask you this,
that one
Wozniak.
guy. Oh, go ahead.
Let me ask you this, Wozniak.
I'm listening.
Those two, Nixon and whatever. How many? They brought us in here, but we weren't
That's
the only
right.
ones. There was a fourth. Does it say that in your little pile of papers?
Let me see. Yes, it says that. Yes, Aaron was his name. He was destroyed by Nixon and Bex, who took him downstairs after he broke Elysium Protocol.
Just that ain't true though, because he was in that room upstairs when we got there.
Damn straight. So you got to be questioning the people that were supposed to be looking after him.
She says that's very interesting. Very interesting. So, are you saying that they are lying? This Nixon and Bex?
I ain't saying that they're lying. I'm just saying that maybe they got lied to. Because this Aaron or whoever wasn't just some jerk off the street.
So, just to kind of review so we all remember and are on the same page, Aaron was a goth kid who kept just crying the entire time after he had been embraced and turned into a vampire. And he was brought up here with the rest of you guys and went to the party. But at one point, he seemed to have been pulled out of the party.
He was playing possum.
Yeah. And later, when you got up to the prince's chambers to have an audience with the prince, he was up there. The window was broken. The prince was ostensibly had fallen. And he was there, and he was acting very differently. And he asked if you would like to join the Anarch movement. So right now, his location from the time, and Elaine's saying this. So you're saying his location from the time he was dragged from the party to the time you claim to have met him in the prince's chambers is in question. And he was supposed to have been taken out by Bex and Nixon. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's exactly correct.
Interesting. But how do we prove that?
Well, why don't you ask him? Why don't you get Groomeld or whoever that laughing chick is to do her mind tricks on them instead of trying to do it on me? It's not gonna work.
Is there any sort of vampire around here that has any ability like that to sense when someone's lying?
She's like, well, vampires that make up this government have many different powers. I'm familiar with some, but not all of them.
The Germans,
at
they're bombing again.
that moment, a huge plane goes right by the U.S. Steel building, but it is involved in an entirely other adventure in another role-playing stream.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Maybe in the plane.
doesn't have anything to do with us. Okay, so basically, she says, the thing about powers in this game, or at least in my chronicle, is that everybody doesn't go, yes, you're using Potence 1. Like, people don't really know them that way. Sometimes if a vampire is going to teach another vampire a power, he might have a little name for it, or he might be aware that it's a technique. But Elaine Wozniak is a ghoul, and she does not have a comprehensive list of all the powers that everybody has. She says, but there are people here in Elysium who might know more than I do.
Well, I hope you know exactly where
I can't remember their names. Deep Tech and Sub-Zero are. I
Bex
don't know why.
and Bex and Nixon.
I hope you know where Bex and Nixon are. I hope you haven't let them run away.
They're the ones who brought me up here. But that was fucking days ago.
Bex and Nixon work for the sheriff. If we could talk to him, maybe we could make sure that they were available for the adjudication, and we could ask them some difficult questions.
Let's talk to the
I'd say
sheriff.
if we were going to have a fair trial, then we should probably do that.
Can I kind of take Elaine off to the side a little bit and say, there was a doctor.
I'm not with them.
Can I
There was a
speak to the
doctor
manager?
at the, Can I just go? Will you just let me go? There was a doctor that I was speaking to during the party, and I need to speak to him again. Do you know
Dr.
who I'm talking about?
Orman. Yes, Dr.
Yeah.
Orman. He is the Tremere Primogen, which is a
What does that
representative.
mean?
Well, it means he's the representative of his clan here in Pittsburgh, the head representative of his clan and of his chantry. I could contact him for you. You want me to bring him here?
Please.
Very well. I will talk to Churchwell Jackson about Bex and Nixon, and I will also try to summon Dr. Orman. Now, there is the small matter of my payment. I am a freelance retainer, and I generally accept one draught for a day's, night's work. So who will be making the deposit?
Wait, what does she want? A drop?
A draught. A drink. Oh, I forget that you're new. I want to drink one of your blood. I want to drink from your wrist, or you could pour it into a glass. I don't care, but it will be.
Do vampires drink other vampires?
I'm not a vampire. I'm a ghoul. I'm independent. And if you want me to do this work as your litigator, I will need to be paid.
My name is Elaine Wazowski, and I'm a ghoul.
Wozniak.
Oh, my name is Elaine Wozniak. I'm a ghoul. I've been a ghoul for 7 years now.
Actually 12.
Anytime anyone says ghoul, I only think of Fallout.
Do you see how youthful I look? She doesn't look youthful. That's due to the power of the blood. Now, who's going to be offering payment? Okay, well then I can do nothing for you. Are we done here?
What do you guys please just?
God damn it! I'll do it. I'll do it. What do you want it now or when?
I need it now before I do tonight's work.
Jesus
Elaine,
Christ.
also one more thing before you
see
drink
her
his
eyes
blood.
get a little crazed.
Before you drink his blood, can I also get a laptop? Can I have access to a laptop?
I'm afraid not. No, they won't allow any technology here for you. Are you ready?
Have a laptop?
Out of her case, she pulls a small knife and hands it to you, Vanderbuck. Shh! 1 second.
Do you have a laptop? The lady wants to check her goddamn email.
Yeah, fine. I'll get you a laptop. Yes, I'll get one for you. Okay.
All right.
It connect to the internet.
Grab the knife.
Okay.
Give it a nice cut.
Ooh, doggy.
You need to make a rouse check, Miles Vanderbuck.
Shit. Okay. What's that? One little dice. One little dice for the little ghoul girl.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna make a willpower roll because the blood. Just for me, I failed.
Oh, yeah.
For a film, by the way, I looked it up. It translates to roll the dice. It's pretty fun.
Oh.
Verfilm.
Success.
Success. Okay. You don't gain any hunger from this. You just give her a little bit. You just pour a little bit into her mouth. She is very polite about it. She's very professional. After going for a second, she goes, thank you. I'll get right on all this.
She shouts back and goes, smoking.
Somebody stop her.
Alrighty
then. And then she walks out, and you guys can now
go in there. Yeah.
She says it might take an hour or two to summon these people here.
And don't forget that laptop.
Or get them to take meetings with you, but she will get them to do that. And they will also bring you a laptop, although she did mention that it may be hindered in some way. They can't have you as a prisoner, writing Reddit and telling them to come rescue.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to sit down on a chair and put my head between my legs because I failed my willpower roll.
Oh, great. Well, what I actually think is that you need you need to, if you can remember, for the rest of the game, you've had so many shocks. I need you to act out some kind of terrible, mental affliction. So I think
Okay.
you're either very angry or very fearful, and it's going to affect social interaction for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll remind you. Don't worry. I'm making a note.
Okay, cool. So we're back in the room where the where it all took place. The room where it happened.
Yeah, and you can go
I'm guessing that the window has been fixed. Is there anything different now about this room? Anything missing?
So that's good that you bring this up. So the room the 60th floor is where you met all the other vampires last time, where they chose who to adopt among you.
The grand hall, kind of.
The grand hall. There's a big bar here.
Are we by ourselves in this grand hall, or are there other vamps?
You are not by yourselves. You notice when you walk out into it that there are guys in security uniforms kind of like milling about. Currently, there's just 2 of them.
Are there any? Do I recognize one of those security boys from earlier? And maybe that person was guarding the door that Bex and Sub-Zero went through with Goth Kid.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Let's see. I want you to make an intelligence plus awareness roll to see if you can remember what security guards were on duty and if these are the same people. And that's going to be a difficulty of 2.
Okay, okay, I got it. Intelligence plus awareness, difficulty 2.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. And that Verhelm. Ooh, failure.
Failure. Okay, so you're not sure. You didn't get a good look at these guys, and you're not positive that this is who you were dealing with the night, because it's been a couple nights now.
Sure, it could be a different staff.
The guards that are here now, one looks like really slovenly, even though he's in he's kind of like bulging out of like a steel building security uniform. I mean, he has the badge and everything. He's like a security guard. He's got a big baton on his hip, but like he's like really unshaven. He's got he looks greasy. And he just looks very slovenly. The other guy, well, let me see if I can find it here. The other guy looks big and a little bit sunburned. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean like a vampire burning under the sunlight, but these are obviously not full-fledged kindred. These are ghouls in security uniforms. Both of them have these big batons on their hip, and they're kind of like just keeping an eye on you.
Anybody else in the big hall?
These are the only people?
You can hear talk from a directly opposite you. It looks like there's another pair of double doors that maybe leads into yet another conference room, and you can hear talk from in there.
I approach that door and see if I can hear what's going on the other side.
Sure. Let's see what is going on the other side. Let's see.
Question.
Yeah.
Does alcohol and drugs work on vampires the way it used to before they were vampires, or is it all bullshit now?
So
it's just blood.
It doesn't work quite the same way. Since you're thin blood, it might work a little bit more like that on you. But basically, they can feed from people who have taken alcohol or drugs, and they'll get some of the effect.
But if I just chugged booze, no go?
I would like to see you try. You're not sure what would happen to your character if you did that.
Is there alcohol in this place? This is like the bar party area, right?
Interesting. Yeah. So looking at the bar, you do find that there is alcohol in addition to a bunch of really kind of ominous black bottles lined up in the fridge. There is regular wine, a very small amount for a big bar like this. Regular wine, whiskey, scotch, vodka.
Okay, Jen's gonna take the vodka and try to down him.
Wait, hold on a second. Is that Dan Aykroyd's Crystal Skull vodka?
very
the
fast.
vodka of the paranormal.
Of the strange, it was oh.
Okay.
Oh!
She's going to take some vodka. She's going to
Yeah,
take a shot of vodka.
She's swigging it.
Give me a stamina roll.
Oh,
Just your stamina, I think.
2. Are those both hunger? No, I have 1 hunger.
And I just
You
need
like diarrhea?
and I just need you to get 1 success on this.
Failed. I am failing every roll.
Okay. So the second you drink it, Jen, you just spit it back up. I mean, you even try to swallow it and you just like vomit it, like So Jen's having a really rough couple of nights, you guys. Jen is like over at the bar. You guys, like as you're walking to that other conference room, you see her just like gagging up vodka.
Sorry,
But
hon.
Jen, an odd thought comes into your head. You think you could get this down if it just had just a little bit of blood in it.
Oh, God damn it.
When you're listening to at the door, suddenly the security guys kind of walk over to you, and the big sunburn one goes, "Hey, now, come on now. That's a private meeting."
Oh, okay. No worries, pal.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are fine to like walk all around here, but you can't go listening at doors, man.
Hey, didn't realize it was a private affair. All right.
Yeah, the big
were
wigs, the big wigs are in there, Buster.
Say, were you
Janice,
here?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let's go with Curtis.
Were you here a few nights ago and they had this big fucking rager up here?
Everybody was here. Yeah, I was working.
Pretty messed up, right?
I'll tell you what's more messed up is I got to be here and on my night off because y'all were playing hanky-pank and causing trouble.
Ain't no hanky-panky going on. Trust me, brother, the trouble was done to us.
The Texas transplant to Pittsburgh.
Were you working the floor up here when all that went down, when they took us up there?
I was.
Yeah. You see anybody else go up there other than us?
What? No. I mean, not until everybody ran up there. But you remember that. It was right after you killed the prince. And the guy with him, the fat guy who looks kind of greasy, is like, okay, that's enough. Don't go listening at doors, and don't cause us any trouble because we're really pissed we have to be here, and we can bring the fucking holy hell fucking vengeance of the bloodsuckers down on your head. Okay, that's what this is for. And he shows you a walkie-talkie.
I take Curtis by the shoulder and I go,
That's all right. We're going to the other side of the room. I say, Curtis, there's 2 of them. There's 2 of us. We could take them. I know you served, and I was a boxing champion from when I was 19 to not a champ. I mean, amateur. I competed. You understand? For 3 years.
Listen up, man. Even if we could.
Oh, go ahead.
Even if we could take those 2, what good is it going to do? They're going to, as fucking dumb as that walkie-talkie is, they bring more vamps down on us?
Well, we got to run. What are we sitting here? What are we sitting here on trial for? What?
I had a fucking chance to run. I could have left both of you up here. I could have
Shut
gone
it,
down there
damn
and taken off. God damn it, there was a method to this. If we were up there, if we were up there alone, then they would have thought we murdered him anyway. Somebody had to do something so that they didn't destroy us, or he would have thrown us under the bus. It's the only way that we could possibly survive, is if we took street justice right there, right then.
All I'm saying is this might be our only chance to escape. Otherwise, we can go to goddamn vampire court and get hung or burned alive or God knows who. What else?
What fucking escape is there going to be? If they got eyes everywhere, man. There's no hiding from these people.
I have a cabin in Big Bear.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, let's go there.
The doors open.
What can I roll for
the other
trip to Big Bear?
There's no way to get to Big Bear from here, my friend. The doors open to the other conference room, and you see that Miss Sonia is talking animatedly with Church Jackson. And she's saying, which means they're starting to poke their heads out of the barrens and test us. And he's like, I'm aware of that. I'm a little busy with a couple other fires that I got to put out right now. And then they turn and they see all of you. Church Jackson walks forward and he's like, tomorrow it will all be over. Do you feel good about your chances?
I go, fuck you. Because I'm pissed, because I'm covered in blood, and I couldn't drink alcohol.
She's been having a rough couple of days.
Yeah, believe it or not, so have I, and it's not the first time I've heard that tonight.
Excuse me, sir.
He turns to you, and his head is a little quick in the way he turns to you. Like there's just a little bit of something about him every once in a while feels a little on edge, or like he moves a little too quick.
How long have Bex and the other one been a part of your organization?
They've served under me for, and then he turns to Miss Sonia, who's just like standing there watching all of them. And he says, they've served under me for several years, 4 or 5 years.
Is there any chance that they have some kind of connection with these anarchists?
Absolutely not. And Miss Sonia leans forward and goes, I would say there's no chance of that. I keep a very close eye on everyone.
Well then, you must have kept a close eye on us when we were brought up to the penthouse and that greasy-haired goth Dan was killed by Button Quinnet.
He's spitting. It's classic Nick Nolte. He's frothing at the mouth. He's red-faced.
Miss Sonia is like, what are you talking about?
We're talking about what happened up there. When we arrived, your prince was already ashes on the ground. I seen it with my own eyes. And that kid that they were supposed to take out and kill, he was standing there in the window. He just thrown him out.
Curtis here is a veteran. Support the troops.
Miss Sonia's eyes get big for a second and she goes, you'll have to excuse me. And as she walks away, in an instant, you kind of don't know quite where she went. And she's not a small woman. Church Jackson says, the ghoul lawyer told me that you wanted to talk to me. So let's consider this your audience. What are you trying to tell me about Bex and Nixon?
Just saying that either they didn't do the job they were sent to do, or someone tricked them into thinking that they did. Because that kid made his way back up.
Yep.
Listen, I ran, and you can also ask them if somebody was going to assassinate the prince and had a chance to get away like I did, why the fuck would they come back into the hornet's nest?
Yeah.
Roll an insight roll. Insight plus wits, Curtis Krieger.
It's very clear that Miles fully accepts and understands Curtis and doesn't know how to deal with Jen Brown because they're very miles apart in terms of what they come from.
Okay, I'm rolling. I'm verfilming.
Verfilm!
While this is happening, can I say that I'm like closing my eyes and pouring a little bit of blood into the vodka?
Oh, very
and then starting to chug.
And where are you getting the blood from?
I assume that's what those little vials are.
Oh,
in the fridge.
That's absolutely right. And boy, I wonder what. Okay, great. We'll come right back to you.
Two successes for a success.
This guy, they may be his soldiers, but this guy doesn't like Bex and Nixon. He's also suspicious of them, and if you press right now, you're going to get something from him.
All right. Seems to me that the people that I would keep close to me, I mean, when I'm backed into a corner with somebody, I like to know that somebody's got my back and they're going to do the job they're sent to do. Otherwise, everybody ends up getting hurt. So I don't know if you got a traitor in your midst or if you got somebody who can't get the job done. But one of those has got to be the case.
Listen to me. Bex and Nixon have been a thorn in my side for years. They're supposed to be my agents as the sheriff of Pittsburgh. But they're always more loyal to their clans and their clan primogen. That's why I wanted a child. That's why I adopted you, so that I had someone who would be loyal to me and who could administer the law of the kindred the right way. So, if you make a move against them tomorrow night, I'll support you.
Ooh.
Okay.
Jen Brown, you have poured some wine. I mean, you poured some blood into the vodka and you're drinking
Oh
it.
no, you're rolling.
Well, I'm trying to find out what kind of blood it is. So give me a second, because there's all different flavors of
I
blood.
should have checked.
Yeah, I know. Okay, interesting. Here's what I'm going to tell you. You take a little draught of the blood and you feel yourself like completely, when you put it in the vodka, you're able to like really drink it down. And the second you do that, you feel like something, warm inside, and you feel like much more powerful, and everything comes into a sharper focus for you.
Huh.
So what you have done is inadvertently discovered for yourself the wonders of thin blood alchemy. Thin blood, when they feed, they sometimes develop spontaneous powers based on who they fed on, what that person's humors are. And your character now has a power that's ready to launch. It could be the power that I've already put on her sheet, or it might be something else. So when you're ready to unleash that power, it's inside of you now. And you just let me know. Okay.
Okay.
Like I
Cool.
said, it could be the thing on your sheet, or you could tell me, right now I need to run up a wall, or right now I need to lift a car. You tell me, and we'll see if we can make it happen.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Chain lightning.
Yeah. I want to create a spirit dragon that destroys the room.
Summon a fey creature.
Probably stuff like that will be off limits, but things that vampires do will be very on target.
Okay.
So that is the end of that scene. Is there any other areas you guys would like to investigate? I mean, there's this room here, this boardroom, and you can see other people kind of still milling about inside of it. Or there's the Prince's Chambers up those stairs. Who knows if you'd be allowed up there? Or you can wait for your meetings to happen, or you can just tell me what you would do.
Could I, not to spend the power now, but why not maybe? I don't know if this is a thing that vampires can do. So is this an idea that, like, if I use this power, that I then have it and could potentially use it again at a later date? Or is it a one use?
With thin blood alchemy, when you use that discipline, you will develop certain formulas that always create that always give you a certain power. So you will always need to mix certain ingredients with blood, and then you will get that power. But there's also the thing that thin bloods do is sometimes they just drink from people, and because of whatever that person's emotional state or the kind of the flavor of that person's soul, they just develop spontaneously a power that they only have for that night.
Okay. So if I were to try, I don't know if this is a viable vampire power, but could I try to read the mind of someone that's still in the room where all the conversation was happening?
That's really interesting. That's super interesting. I'm going to tell you something. You can't read the mind, but something develops for you in this moment. Okay.
Okay.
You've drank phlegmatic blood. That is the humor that you drank out of the bottle, and you spontaneously manifest a power where suddenly you can hear all the way back in the conference room people that are whispering to each other. You can hear exactly what they're saying, word for word.
Ooh.
And what you hear is Adelaide Ross, and she's talking to someone, and she's saying like, "Oh, I can't because they won't let me up there. They've never let me up there. That was the first time I had seen it. It's been off limits for me. Even Button wouldn't let me near it." But if I could go up there, I could know what happened.
What? Okay, I'm gonna slosh over to the boys and go, I don't know what just happened. I heard the white-haired lady. I think some vampire shit happened, and I could hear her. And
What?
she said if she went up there, she would know what happened. Up to the prince's chambers, or whatever the fuck it is. If we got her up there, she said she was telling someone in there that she would know what happened.
Sounds sincere, because I get a sense that lady's mostly talk.
She wasn't talking to me. I could hear her. I had crazy super hearing. I could hear all the way into the conference room.
You're drunk off vodka, Jen.
The second Miles talks, his voice is way too loud, and it hits you in the head like you're being hit with a horrible headache, and a little bit of blood trickles out your nose.
God damn it! Okay, you think I'm just drunk? Go in the corner of the room and whisper something.
I don't even hear what she's saying because my eyes are looking at the nosebleed.
Chris, go in the corner of the room and say something, and I'll tell you what you said.
I after everything else, no, I get it. So
how do we get her up there?
Isn't that something that our lawyer could help us do?
Oh yeah, that's
or
true.
maybe
Me, I would never take it on. No way. No how. You're just hearing voices that are upstairs right now, Jen. Yeah.
Upstairs, like where the prince is? The prince is.
Yeah. It's like I enjoy the taste of, a steak too much. Macaroni and cheese. Not to mention, I like to have fun with the ladies. So
can I close my ears? Does that help at all?
Yeah, you turn it off.
All the way off. If I open my ears again.
Yep.
It's just gone now? If I open my ears, can I hear them talk about steak again?
You've kind of turned the power off.
Oh, shit.
But I will say that you have it for the scene. So if you want it again, let me know. But right now you were kind of like, I don't want to hear this. And then it stopped happening.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anyone else in the room besides the people in the conference room?
So in the conference room now, you can see, and it's this is a big, deep one with big, giant windows up here on the 60th floor. And you can see that Adelaide Ross is all the way on the other side of it, probably over 100 feet away, whispering to a very beautiful, very the sex is sort of unclear, Indian, a person of Indian descent, vampire. Kindred of Indian descent.
I'd like to listen to what that person is saying.
Yes, but how does this help you? How does it help our agenda? Why even offer? Adelaide shrugs. She says, "You're right. Still, I'm sure there's a reason Gwinnett kept me out of there. I'm very curious." And now they start walking out of the conference room, up sort of the steps that lead out of this room toward all of you.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Is that lawyer lady around?
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that, Thomas, because right at that moment, I decide to bring in another character. The elevators ding, and Elaine Wozniak gets off the elevator with Dr. Orman. Dr. Orman, the Tremere that you met last time. Jen chose not to become his adopted child, and he really lost face in front of the entire gathered Elysium. So he's probably super, super happy about that.
Right.
Is this lawyer also carrying a laptop with her?
She marches right up to you and says, I brought what you asked for. I'll set it up in the other room. And Dr. Orman is here.
Could I take the doctor aside?
Certainly.
I sort of want to eat crow a little bit and say, I know last night that you were disappointed. I was confused. I had just been turned. I'm in a rough spot right now. I have the possibility of being destroyed tomorrow, as do my friends. I was hoping that maybe you could help, and in exchange, I will let you do the thing that you said you wanted to do.
I think not. You embarrassed my chantry. You embarrassed me
I'm really sorry about that.
in front of the entire gathered host of kindred of the city. No, I think not. I think that what I will do is petition to have your body delivered to me after you have been executed. Yes, that is what I think I will do. And if you want help, you'll have to look elsewhere.
Well, glad you came all the way out here, Doc, to just tell me that. Thanks a lot. And then
I have other business here.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sure. And then I'm going to go after Elaine to go to the laptop.
Okay, great. I got to say the hours are going to start ticking by, so let me know what you'd like to do with the laptop.
I'm going to produce the USB that I forgot that I had, and I'm going to stick it in and see what's on it.
That is an incredible move. When you do that,
Thank you, Thomas.
you find a big, there's a lot of files in here. So it's going to take you a couple hours. So I need you to do a test with your computer. It's going to be intelligence plus computer. And
Hack it in the mainframe.
the amount of successes you get in this particular test is going to determine what I tell you, what you find. But in the meantime, that drive is in your possession, and you can do things with it.
Can we also talk to Elaine about what we heard? I forget her name already.
Elaine Wozniak. I'm on it. You told us that.
Okay, great.
That seems there's circumstantial evidence against us.
Yes, you were found at the crime scene, and you are all known to have anarch tendencies. In fact, you have anarch blood inside of you.
Ain't exactly our choice.
Well, that may be, but I will tell you that having a certain flavor of blood inside of you can affect your actions. I'm sure you have found that to be true, at least by now.
A little snarl escapes me, and about this crime scene. Anybody, I don't know, to coin a phrase, CSI, that sort of thing?
CSI?
Crime scene investigated?
Well, I assume the sheriff made a study of the crime scene. He usually does. Yes, let me look. Yes, he says in his findings that all that is known for sure is that the prince, who rarely leaves this building and hasn't for 25 years, is missing, hasn't been seen in several nights, and that you were found near a window that had been shattered.
Well, here's me. Talking ain't exactly my strong suit. If I was gonna plead my case, I prefer to have, I don't know, some kind of visual aid or something. I mean, where does this court get adjudicated? Because if I'm gonna describe what went down, which I assume a jury or judge would want to hear, I'd like to do it in the room where it happened, just so I can give everybody present a play-by-play about what went down, when, and exactly where, in the place where it happened. Since it's 100 feet above us and all.
He wants to be in the room where it happened. The room where it happened. The room where it happened.
Your daughter like that too? Your daughter like that too?
She says, "Well, that's usually the adjudication will happen here in Elysium. not in the prince's chambers. I mean, you all will be chained over there on the dais, and you will not be allowed to talk. And then,
For the sake of justice, that's something that you could petition to do on our behalf. If you called one of us as a witness, we could literally walk you through the events in the room
Where it happened.
where it happened.
She says,
Yeah.
it's something I could do.
This is the laughing lady with
No, this is our lawyer. But
Oh,
I'm
right.
trying to create a
Fucking
situation. Well,
Elaine.
whatever. I raise up my wrist.
She pulls out her tiny knife and she cuts. And I'll need you to make a rouse check. She feeds off of you as well.
Where did you get your goddamn law license?
I actually lost my law license in 2004.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a total failure.
Ooh.
Okay, so you're going to gain a point of hunger.
Yeah.
You're going to gain a point of hunger. And she is going to file a motion to have the proceedings take place at the scene of the crime. And she says it's strange, but they might go for it.
Okay.
So where were we? Oh, yes. How did you do on your computer roll? And now I'm going to, unless anybody has any objections, I'm going to let time pass.
That's a success.
Just one?
How many should I do? As many as I want?
You tell me how many successes you got, actually. How many dice came up over 6? 6 or above?
Oh, shit.
Do you remember?
No, I don't.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
You fell out of there, didn't you?
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I think that if you succeeded, you at least know this. The prince has been keeping detailed files on every coterie, which is a group of vampires, and every vampire in the Pittsburgh territory. You now know what the prince knew about all of these vampires, their abilities, any secrets he knew about them, and he must have known quite a bit because he is the prince. And you're right, and he's probably not great with computers, seeing as how he was alive for the Revolutionary War.
Bless my soul.
You now have this information, and what I can tell you is, like, we can let a number of hours pass, and you can ask me one question about someone or something that's in the prince's employ. And the hours are ticking by as this happens.
Wisely, Ashley.
What should we ask? Can
That's
I
up to
consult
you.
with my brain trust?
Yeah,
Did she ask us?
absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah. You
Okay.
guys could all be working together on this.
What do you guys think we should who and what should we ask about?
What seems to me that the hinge point of this is Nixon, in whom we've affectionately come to term Sub-Zero. But Nixon and Bex lost or were in league with or were tricked by that kid who did kill the prince, because we saw it with our own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So if one of them has, shall we say, anarchic tendencies, that might be something that would be to our benefit.
Okay, so we only get to ask about one of them, I'm guessing?
That's just me saying that. If anybody's got another idea.
That's right. You're looking. So, are you looking to see if they have anarchic tendencies?
Or, okay,
Can I
Or you could ask, if you can only ask one, you could ask about the goth vampire, like, because clearly he's not a new vampire. He was posing as a new vampire for us.
Mhm.
but he would only know that he was, in his files, he would only know that he was a falsie if he knew, in which case, why would he bring him in?
Well, that's assuming that he brought him in and the guy didn't get in.
Exactly.
Of course.
That's true. Well, yeah, that's true. He wouldn't have let him in to talk if he knew that he was a badite.
Is it possible to just look at one of Nixon or Bex's files?
Yeah, the files are very extensive. So without
okay.
maybe a specific question, it's a little hard to glean, exactly what you want from it. But I can tell you that these guys were loyal ghouls to the current Primogen of the Ventru and Primogen of the Toreador here in Pittsburgh for many years, and that Jake Nixon is a Toreador now. He was rewarded the embrace for his service in life. He was a gay man, and he suffered a lot for that in the 70s and 80s. He was in and out of detention for various crimes, all different types. You do get this information that the prince thinks that he let an anarch go because that anarch was a friend of the Toreador clan. Actually, it doesn't say anarch, it says caitiff. He let a caitiff that they were who was a poacher. The prince seems to consider this like a type of anarch, a caitiff. He was poaching on different territory here in Pittsburgh, and they think that Nixon let that guy go. Like, had him in his sights and let him go.
Okay. And we don't know that he's an anarch, this guy.
It doesn't say that Nixon, he's not labeled as an anarch in the file, which some people are. It just says that there is an incident that the prince knows about where Nixon and Bex were sent to apprehend this caitiff.
Do we have a name?
Yeah, the caitiff's name is Mubarak.
Is it cheating for me to ask if I could roll again to look at his file?
Emil Mubarak. It's not cheating. I can give you more information. I don't think that you need to roll again.
Okay.
But without a specific question, you guys were looking for anarch evidence, and you found it. You found that this guy, while undergoing his duties as a agent and soldier of the Camarilla, the prince strongly suspects that he let a caitiff anarch go when that vampire was poaching in Pittsburgh. Oh, and the idea that poaching means when a vampire comes into domains that are not his and feeds on humans there. This seems to be a strictly kept law here in Pittsburgh that you do not do that.
Okay. That seems pretty good.
So
I suggest that we adjourn our efforts for the evening, says Elaine Wozniak, your ghoul lawyer. But she says, but to be clear, what exactly are we doing tomorrow? We're bringing Nixon as a witness?
We'd like to have all of the vampires possible in...
Oh, don't worry. The Ventru Archon will be here. Everyone will be present.
I would say the nature of our defense entails that we claim that this kid, Aaron, somehow got up here. Well, it seems that, I would put the screws to Nixon to see exactly what went on when they supposedly gave that kid the bum's rush and how it comes that he winds up in the prince's chambers when we were there.
Yeah, and Bex as well.
And of course, referencing their past of letting go a known anarchist before.
Very well. Are we ready?
And, why would I come back? And of course, thanks for filing the motion. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Let's see if she was successful in filing that motion.
Oh, shit.
Okay. The sun rises. The sun sets. You lay on the floor of a dirty conference room on the 60th floor of the U.S. Steel Building until the doors are opened once again. And those ghoul security staff are there, and they're like, are you ready to come upstairs? They're holding the trial there.
Yeah.
I thought I'd gone down to Primati Brothers, get myself a fucking sandwich. Oh, no, I forgot. It's the only place I got to be.
They throw you those kind of plastic wire cuff,
Zip ties.
zip ties. Yeah, and they go, yeah, let me put these on you.
Can the condemned have a request?
I don't know if it's in my power to give it to you, says the greasy, fat guard. But what is your request?
I just want a drink.
Right. And he goes and he, as you guys are getting the zip ties on, his redneck companion is putting the zip ties on you. He goes and he gets a bottle and he's like, right? And he throws you the bottle of blood.
With plus something a little stronger, if I could. I don't really want to be sober for this.
You want something stronger?
Vodka, if there's any.
He walks. He puts a bottle of vodka down. He's like, least I can do for someone who's going to be on that roof at 6:32 a.m.
Thanks, bud. And then I take a drink. I mix them and I take a drink. Eyes closed.
You are once again empowered. And you are empowered with your thin blood alchemy. You have a bullet in the chamber ready to go. You feel your heart beat faster. You feel your senses suddenly get more acute. And now they're waiting to lead you up into the prince's chambers. Great. Up you go, up the back stairwell, past the window where you saw a body fall. Your last image of the boardroom is of the corpse they still have left in there, which is now rotting and gray. You climb the stairs, up past the window, open the doors into the prince's chambers, where an old revolutionary flag with the circle of stars and old artifacts, matchlock pistols and things like that are in big glass cases. But here now assembled are all the Camarilla vampires of Pittsburgh, and they're all wearing strange masks. It's very eyes wide shut. Some are wearing devil masks, and some are wearing really off-putting, reindeer masks and weird owl masks. And standing among all of them is a man who's not wearing a mask, a kindred who is not wearing a mask. He stands probably 6'5". His dead skin used to be olive during life, but now you can see it's dyed to a strange yellow. He looks like he was chiseled out of Roman marble, and his black hair is slicked back into an impenetrable helmet. As you approach, a mahogany box is placed in front of him, and he opens it and he pulls out an ivory mask of an ibis head and places it onto his face and says, "There now. I am ready to administer justice."
Oh boy.
So Adelaide Ross, I will speak on behalf of this city and of the crimes of these fledglings. They were brought into our care. They were offered a chance at immortality, but the anarch blood in their veins was too strong, and they spit it in our faces. And Miles, you, who I agreed to take in as my own child, even you, decided to follow through with a plan of assassination, with a plan to destroy this city, to try to topple our government at its foundation. But the Camarilla is stronger than that. One prince doesn't make the Camarilla. And your assassination will not break us. This is Adelaide.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead, Jen. What would you like to do?
Can I use my bullet in the chamber to somehow compel her to say the truth.
Very interesting. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get her to say.
Because she said if she was up there that she would know what happened, right? That's what I overheard her saying.
Okay. I want you to give me a rouse check.
Okay. Come on, baby. Success.
Okay. You suddenly realize that if you blurt out a command to her, she might follow it. But you'll be interrupting her speaking for the prosecution.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say I'm gonna not try to be aggressive about it, but I'm gonna kind of say firmly, tell the truth. Tell them what really happened here. I know that you know.
Miles looks at Jen like,
What the hell are you doing?
I'm just like, oh fuck.
All of the heads in their weird masks all turn to look at Jen Brown at the same time as she just screams from where she's standing in the center of the room, tell them what really happened here. Yeah, you're going to need to roll your charisma and then add 1 die to it. And remember to put your hunger, replace some with hunger die.
I'm at 2 hunger. Is that right?
I think that's right. Yes.
Okay, so it's charisma. I add 1 die.
That's right. Yes, add 1 die for your strange and enigmatic thin blood powers.
Fuck. Total failure.
Total failure. For a second, her eyes kind of glaze over and they look strange for a moment. And then she goes, silence the defendant, please.
God damn it.
And that's when 2 of the guards come up with their batons and just into Jen Brown. Jen, would you please roll your stamina? Roll your stamina.
Stamina? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's
dear.
not good. It's only going to be hunger die.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's bad. Go ahead.
Total failure.
Failure, but it's not a bestial failure, right?
No.
Okay. Jen, your character hits the ground. You're completely stunned by these batons. You're unable to speak for a little while. You're kind of laying there in pain, and you hear murmurs from the gallery of vampires, but everybody suddenly goes quiet again.
And no one saw her go like glazed, or that wouldn't be weird to them potentially.
Interesting. Did anybody see her? Let's find out.
Cops are showing up.
Everybody get out! The cops know about vampires!
No.
Okay, so if they notice Jen, they're not acting on that. Your power had almost had an effect for a minute, but she managed to resist it.
Okay.
Miss Sonia now comes forward and goes, "Stop! Do not administer justice on this fledgling until the trial is over. I speak for her. Until this trial is over, she is my child." And everybody, the guards kind of pull away from Jen Brown and leave her alone. And now, Adelaide Ross is laying out all of the details of your case. How you were anarchs, and they tried to turn you. It was Button's idea. And clearly it was foolhardy, and he paid for it with his unlife. But the facts speak for themselves. They were in this very chamber. They had opened a secret compartment that, definitely was not meant to be opened. They were planning to steal some sort of artifact, and they murdered the prince. And those are the facts. And everyone in this room was here and saw that what they had done. And the man in the ibis mask goes, "Very well. Who will speak on behalf of these fledglings?" "Hi, Elaine Wozniak." Forward and puts her case down, and it's like, We would like to call some witnesses, if we may. And she looks back at you guys and goes,
Oh God.
I look back in my memory banks and I dimly remember maybe seeing that exact same wink on like a bus stop bench ad.
a long time ago.
God damn it.
And she goes, we call Jake Nixon of Clan Toreador. Nixon suddenly comes through the crowd, the other kindred and ghouls part, and there he is in his leather jacket with spikes on it, his hair, it's like half shaved on one side, and he walks forward and he goes, yeah, want to know. She looks back at you guys, and then she looks to him and she says, when you took fledgling Aaron into the stairwell, what happened? And he goes, Bex and I took her down into the stairwell, where violence and destruction of kindred is not allowed. And when we oh no, am I breaking up now?
A little.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Wait, let me adjust my antenna. Okay, can I continue?
That actually kind of works.
Why did that work?
Yeah.
It's magic. I use my blood alchemy.
Oh no, now
Okay.
it's not working. It's a little dicey.
It's a little dicey, yeah.
We apologize to our viewers. Should we get off and come back on and finish this? We should be working toward a solution to this. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, it's coming in now. But
Okay.
oh, now it's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems fine now.
Okay. Okay. We are working toward a solution to this, and we will have it solved very soon, so that this doesn't happen
You
anymore.
sound good. You sound great.
I'm going to build a new Ethernet, a new internet. Okay, so where was I? Oh, yes. He says that he and Bex took Aaron down to a sub-basement and decapitated Aaron, which, of course, destroyed Aaron as a vampire, and Aaron was reduced to ash. So I need everybody to make
Miles blurts out.
make a wits plus insight roll.
I don't need to. I can smell doggy doo doo. It's what do you say? Insight and what?
Wits plus insight roll.
Oh boy.
Success.
I'll tell you in 1 second. Success.
Success.
He's lying, and anybody who's good at picking out a liar can tell he's lying.
Mhm.
Yeah, Miles. I stick to that. Miles yells out uncontrolled.
That's bullshit. I know it.
The guards come forward with their batons towards Miles, but that's when Church
Do it,
Jackson
motherfuckers.
Church Jackson says, "Stop! Don't touch him. This man is lying. I can tell. What really happened?" Nixon is now like really flustered. You actually see beads of blood start to form on his forehead.
Sweat blood.
And he says,
Look at me, sweat blood.
fucking anarch, okay? I knew this would happen. I fucking told Bex I'm not a fucking anarch, okay? I didn't do anything. I didn't help him. All right? There was a voice, and then I lost some of it, but and now he's like really losing it in front of everybody, and that's when all of a sudden he's like, no, and his eyes just go like white, and he suddenly disappears and appears right in front of Miles Vanderbuck and attacks.
Block. Do I
That
roll
works, right?
anything to evade?
So in vampire combat, I'll roll something, you'll roll something, and everybody that's doing something will all roll at the same time, and then we'll see what happened. Because anytime you're fighting with somebody, it's kind of a contest. You both roll at the same time and see who won. Does that make sense?
Sure. I'm rolling what? Brawl and something?
Yeah, so you got to tell me, are you trying to dodge him? Are you trying to counterattack him? What are you trying to do to him? Because he has appeared in front of you in an instant, and he looks like he's trying to end your unlife.
I'd like to back away. Evade his strike.
Evade his strike. Okay.
What's a little boy like me to roll? A little kinky boy like me.
So I need you to roll a dexterity plus athletics roll to get out of his way. And he is going to roll to hurt you real bad because, well, we'll see. Here we go.
Oh, our hands are all tied.
Would anybody else like to do something? Because you're welcome to try.
I would like to. Are our hands zip tied in front of us or behind us?
Oh, that's a good point. They're zip tied in front of you.
Okay. I'd like to just dive into him from the side. I assume we're side by side.
Yes.
I just kind of want to throw my body against him to knock him off balance.
You also can rouse your blood. I want to let you guys know this because you would instinctively do it in this case. You could rouse your blood and you could maybe break your bonds. But if right now all you want to do is kind of slam into him with your hands still tied, you could do that.
Am I out for the count because I got zapped, or am I?
I would say you can. You know what? Time has passed. Some testimony has been heard. You're no longer stunned, but I may limit the kind of things you can do because they did a number.
Mm-hmm. Can I yell for? I forget his fucking name. The guy that's helping us. The guy that vouched for us.
Churchwell Jackson.
Yeah, Churchwell. Can I yell for him to help?
You can yell for him to help. Yes, absolutely, and that's free. I'm just going to let you do that. No problem.
I'm going to kind of try to scurry away from the action because I'm a shrimp.
Okay, how many successes did you get on your?
A shrimp.
A little shrimpy one.
Oh,
I'm a shrimp. I'm a human shrimp.
I'm a shrimp.
Description.
CJ, what's your name?
How did you do on your roll, Thomas?
Miles Vanderbilt got 2 successes.
Okay, well, unfortunately, our friend Nixon crit successed his roll, and he did it without. It's not a bestial success, but he is already frenzying or whatever, and so he got 6 successes on his attack.
Uh-oh.
So that's 4 successes altogether. So that's 4. That's 4 damage, I think, that are coming at you.
Okay. How do I even?
Now he doesn't have claws or anything, so it's not aggravated damage. It's just he's just at rapid speed, pummeling you and ripping at you. And so you're going to take 4 marks, not X's, but cross throughs on your health bar.
How is everyone else reacting to this? Is this a normal vampire court day? People?
It feels slow to us because we're playing a role-playing game.
Right, of course.
It all happened in the space of 1 minute, and I can tell you, Jen Brown, that the entire place is going fucking haywire. The only thing is, in this part of the movie, it's happening in slow motion.
Yeah.
A bunch of eyes behind masks go really wide.
It's absolutely
okay, so this is not standard practice.
Not at all. No,
not even in a vampire court.
Not even in a vampire court.
In fact, Elaine Wozniak is holding her briefcase up in front of her. People are diving for cover. People are screaming. And let's see how you did on your roll there, Curtis.
So what am I? Let's clarify. I'm rolling.
Let's do a strength plus brawl. Did you want to break your bonds or did you want to just tackle?
I just want to turn my body into a projectile, so I'm not breaking bonds.
Tackling, right? So go ahead and give me a strength plus brawl.
Okay.
Roll big, Ross. Come on, baby.
Come on,
You gotta be my big boy.
Critical.
What's that? A messy?
I got a messy critical.
Oh my God, this is insane. Okay, so when you see Miles Vanderbuck being attacked, suddenly everything goes red for you. The beast comes out of you, and I'm going to rule, don't worry about rousing the blood. Not only do you tackle, and you push this guy all the way through the crowd of vampires, like they're like jumping out of the way. You press him up against that big glass window again, so hard that it cracks again, and as you get your bonds free, and he's like up against it, like bleeding.
Can we say that like his cheek is like smashed up against the glass, and we get that shot from outside the building where we see the crack? Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you hear, "Enough! Kneel!" And everybody needs to roll a willpower roll. No, actually, let's see.
Resolve, right?
Everybody needs to roll. Wait, I'm going to tell you what it is. It's intelligence plus resolve. Everybody needs to do that right now.
Oh, I'm pretty good at that. Okay. So.
Any difficulty or no?
It's based on this guy's roll. Actually, it's a contest, and the guy that just spoke is the big Archon in the ibis mask.
Success.
Failure.
Success by 3.
Total failure.
By 3. Okay, I have to tell you that this guy got 2 criticals because he has a huge pull for this, and normally, compel is just done against one vampire at a time with eye contact, but this is the Ventru Archon, and when he screams like that, a bunch of people all kneel at once, like
I assume it's boom,
including
down.
All of you, like you, even though you're all like on your knees all of a sudden, and he's like, "Jake Nixon, you have drawn blood in Elysium.
Ooh.
You have lied to representatives of kindred law. Your unlife is forfeit. The fledglings are free to go. We will now try this vampire." And they drag him into the middle of the room. And they start asking him questions about what happened. And he's like still shaking from like frenzying. And he's like, I swear to God, there was a voice. And then we don't remember. Like, we don't remember what happened. And he's like, "Then why did you lie? Your unlife is ended." And suddenly, one of the Archon's agents, a huge ghoul in a black suit, comes forward with a big wooden stake and just shoves it into Nixon's heart. And he stands there like frozen, like. And all the assembled vampires stand there waiting, and they all.
The girl in the flame dress. Well, if we're free to go, honestly, when this is happening, Miles just like walks out, I think.
Yeah.
So as you're walking out, like the kindred, they're in a mob of like chaos. Like they're all bumping into each other and everything. Like they're trying to decide what's going to happen next. And as you're walking out, Adelaide Ross, your master, if you recall, says, "Wait, you're going to want to hear this next part." To you, Miles Vanderbuck. And then the Archon has now gotten everybody's attention again. And he's like, "It is also the decision of the inner circle of the Camarilla that the new Prince of Pittsburgh is Adelaide Ross." And she looks at you and she goes, "Are you sure you want to leave now?" She walks up and takes the stage.
Miles laughs at her.
Yeah, she walks up and takes the stage with the Archon, and is like waving to everybody like a beauty contest winner. And that's where we will end for tonight.
Wow.
Exquisite.
The lady in the flame dress.
Thank you so much to our players, Thomas Middleditch, Ashley Burch, Ross Bryant. You guys brought it again. And I had so much fun. You guys were fantastic.
You're fantastic. Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, great stuff. What a legal drama.
I know.
Tonight we did a legal drama. Who knew that would be what chapter 2 of a vampire game would involve? But you guys did awesome at like figuring out a defense for yourself, and it worked. So what I will say is that we will be back on Sunday playing the GURPS Henchman game. My players are willing to stay. I'm going to stay for a while to do a Q&A. And I also have a little info I want to give you guys about a charity thing that's going on here in Los Angeles to help entertainers and comedians like the people who played tonight kind of pay their bills and get fed during this pandemic. So I'll have information about that in just a minute. But let's have one more vampiric, the girl in the flame dress clap for our players. And thank you guys. Let's do it again soon if we can.
Yes, please.
Yes. All right, great. I'm going to hang around and answer questions and tell you about that charity thing. And everybody's welcome to stay. Do we have any questions or anything? Or just really, you can just comment at us. Tell me what rules I got wrong, because there was probably one or two.
And rules are meant to be broken, dude. Or bent, at the very least.
That's right, and I bend them a lot. I know that someone earlier asked how many parts this series will be. I don't know yet. But one thing I like to try to do, I think especially for something like this, is not run infinite campaigns, but run things that kind of get to like a nice season of story and stop there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Willpower does not use a hunger die. Okay, there we go. Good to know, and we'll always remember it. So I don't think that really affected anything. Probably it did, and you're about to tell me that it did. We will remember that willpower does not use a hunger die. Anything else? People are like, no, we're good. That's
straightforward.
Feel satisfied?
You've done enough. You've done quite enough.
Well, then I'm going to ask my my sidekick. Oh, here we go.
Oh, thank
great
you.
job. Someone was saying Jen is her favorite, and Jen is great. Jen's dealing with the changes in her body bravely.
She's pretty emo. She's got some ennui.
Yes, happy about the Hamilton reference. Absolutely.
We're dealing with Revolutionary War figures, so it's after.
You got it.
I think I guess I'll formally invite these guys. They don't have to say yes now because these guys are even busy during pandemic. But yes, I think that we're shooting for every Wednesday for a little while. So yeah, we'll be back Wednesday. How do you feel games like these intersect with your various backgrounds in acting improv? Oh, that's a deep one. Well, they're definitely improv.
Yeah, I mean, it's very. I'm kind of like I never played role-playing games when I was a kid, or really when I was doing like improv years ago. But it is like a very, very highly structured, rule-based, dice-driven improv game.
Yeah.
So it is weirdly dovetails with it really nicely, because a lot of it is just thinking like, what would my it's like an acting challenge. It's like, what would your character do right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you're also like, when I've played in groups where there's none of that, and there's a difference between everybody kind of playing for the shared story, versus like everybody playing to win the game or to like beat the thing so much. It's less about that. It's more about like, yes, let's defeat the challenge, but
a compelling story.
Yes, for the purpose of this like narrative that we're all imagining at the same time.
Yeah, and I would say that I really like it when everybody's trying to play to create the story. But I also like to kill people in my games. I'm really not in the first or second session, but once I feel like people have a handle on the rules in the world, then all bets are off. Because I think
it's fun. Like, remember that Cthulhu game where the first session was everybody died except for one, and it ended up being
in the first session.
Yeah.
it ended up being a prologue to like the real game that happened later on.
Oh,
I-
that's really cool.
I have
Yeah.
different rules for Cthulhu, which has a much higher mortality rate.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you all have experience with Vampire? I'm seeing. Oh wait, I'd like to know about your past tabletop RPG experience. Sure. I have been running White Wolf, World of Darkness games when I was a teenager. I almost got more into that than D&D early on because that was where the games me and my friends played in Knoxville, Tennessee. And then I stopped playing games for a long time. But then as an adult, around age 30, I picked it back up. And I've been playing every game I can. I have a long list of dream campaigns I want to run, which is what this show is kind of about.
Hmm.
Yeah, I used to play I don't know what version it was, but it was mid-90s Star Wars role-playing game, and then I wanted to play D&D, but no one would invite me, and then took a long break, and then Clint, who pops in every now and then, got me into GURPS. Love GURPS. I think it's that. We played a great game of GURPS when I was going through an incredibly difficult personal point in my life, and it means everything to me. And then D&D and Cthulhu, those are the big ones.
There's a great. Oh yeah, go ahead. The rest of you. I'm sorry. Yeah. What, Ashley? Did you have tabletop experience?
The first time I played D&D was with a big group of us, and we started infighting immediately. And the DM, who was a first-time DM, had to split the party, and so then we took a very long break. And then I think the next time I played might have been with the Critical Role folk, actually.
Great.
And now I play a Cthulhu game with our mutual friend Humphrey and
Yeah.
Clint.
Yes.
He wants to come in and wave again.
Yeah.
There he is. It's the Clint show. Yeah, and now, especially with the quarantine, I'm playing this. I'm playing 2 Cthulhu games. I'm playing a Warhammer game. It's like all I'm doing. So it's saving my bacon.
Yeah, and like I said, I never played as a kid or a teenager, mostly because I moved around a lot and grew up mostly in the middle of nowhere, and so there was
you were too into sports, right?
Yeah, I was a big sporto.
Right.
I was like
Sporto.
hanging with the rugby bros and just mudding on the weekends, and yeah, probably too busy just like slanging and banging.
Yeah, and
But,
dunking
Yeah.
on those drama nerds.
Yeah, dunking on dweebs, kissing babes, riding skates, and but yeah, in the past like 4 years, I started with these guys, and it's been a blast.
It has been. Ross is amazing. He somehow you make your character have dialogue that I feel like you could sit down, like someone has sit down and written it, but you're coming out off the top of your head. Oh yeah.
Likewise.
Someone else has a Pittsburgh chronicle. Well, we'll have to make them cross over, unless maybe ours is in a parallel universe from yours.
What's Chronicle? What's Chronicle game?
It's just the World of Darkness word for campaign.
Mm.
Call it a chronicle.
Oh, I see. I thought it was another.
What are some
game.
things you would like to? What are some things you would like to explore with these characters? Well, one thing that's cool is that the characters are no longer in danger of being destroyed by the hierarchy of Pittsburgh now. So next session, when we play again, they'll be able to decide some things like about their domain and like how they want their lives as vampires to go. So there'll be a lot of decision making like that next time. So I'm curious what you guys would say as well.
I mean, I'm first off the cuff. I'm like, it seems that this guy is a very, very anti-authoritarian person, but he's suddenly made a pact with the ultimate authority. And I think he's got to like have a long, dark night of the soul about what his values really are.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. That's great. Boy, that's a good idea. Okay, that's the Chronicle.
Hey, Miles can get right on board with that because he's anti-authority too. His whole thing was like, "Damn the man."
I know you guys really slotted into each other. I don't know.
And in our D&D campaign, we're brothers. We
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
that's
Oh, that's
right.
funny.
play improv Shakespeare together. I love you, Ross. Come on.
Hey, man,
Hey,
Any chance of green screen sets and costumes in future episodes? You know what? I am 100% down with green screen and really want to make that happen. In fact, our entire technical setup is going to improve. It's improving slowly because this is my first time streaming at all. And we are in quarantine, so, you can't get all the stuff right away. But Costumes. I don't know whether it's my age or what it is. I love the people that wear costumes. I'm 100% for it. Let your freak flag fly. I'm more of a wear a nerdy t-shirt guy, and that's about as far as I can go.
Would you do some heavy eyeliner for
Yeah,
the goth of it all?
For you, Ashley, I would.
Nice.
Yeah. For vampire, I would put on heavy eyeliner.
I'm going to jump in so we can start to wrap it up. We were waiting on a little intel from our other producer, Bryant, about his project Comedy Gives Back. But since it has not arrived, please go to comedygivesback.com to learn more about. There it is.
I can explain it to everybody. So all of these great comedians, like what do they say, Patton Oswalt, and huge comedy talents, are kind of helping to raise money for performers, entertainers, comedians, the people that give us all a laugh, especially important right now. They're all pitching in together to raise money for this thing that will make sure that these entertainers are still able to pay their bills, because there are no shows right now. So if you find that your needs are being met okay, or you have a couple extra bucks to spare, or you just want to go check it out, because I bet there's some funny content on there, definitely go to comedygivesback.com and check it out, and let's help our favorite comedians pay their rent, because I know a lot of performers who are actually do really well, and but all of their income is based on touring and going and doing live shows, which don't exist right now. So that's that's taken care of. We'll probably mention that again coming in the future, because we really want people to be aware of that. And I want everybody. Now I'm going to segue into a personal plug. Perfectly done, Logan. Our Instagram and Twitter are Stream of Blood, and you can find us there. And on YouTube and Facebook, it's called Jared Logan's Stream of Blood. Jared Logan's Stream of Blood. Wow, I didn't even know my name was on that. Isn't that exciting? I have a team of people that do this for me. It's Clint. So you're a team now, Clint. So follow us on there. Tell people about this. And again, Sunday 1:30, and then we're back here Wednesday at 6 p.m. Come watch the show again. All right, that's it. Thank you, vampires.
Thank you, Vampire Dad.
That's me. Storyteller next time. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.